Imagine this. You walk through the front door after a long day, and before you even put your keys down, your dog is already there. Tail moving, eyes locked on you, body leaning forward as if the entire room suddenly became more interesting because you arrived. There may be other people in the house. People who feed your dog, play with your dog, or even spend more hours around your dog than you do. And yet somehow, your dog keeps choosing you. He follows you from room to room. He waits outside the bathroom. He sleeps closer to your side of the bed. And when everyone calls his name, somehow his eyes find yours first. You might think it is simply because you give him treats, or because you have been around him the longest. But your dog's favorite person is not always the person who feeds him the most. Something much deeper is happening inside his brain. Your dog is constantly evaluating one question: who makes me feel safest? And once you understand what happens in your dog's nervous system when he chooses you, you may never look at that little shadow following you around the house the same way again. Researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest have spent years studying the attachment between dogs and their humans, and their findings reveal something that feels surprisingly familiar. Dogs can form attachment patterns remarkably similar to the bond between human infants and their caregivers. Scientists can observe what happens when a dog explores a strange environment, when their person leaves, and most importantly, what happens when that person returns. A securely attached dog may explore confidently when you are nearby, become unsettled when you disappear, and then calm down when you return. That pattern matters because it means your dog is not simply recognizing your face. Your presence can function as a psychological safety signal. You are the person whose presence tells your dog everything is okay. And that is one of the biggest clues that you may actually be your dog's favorite human. But here is where things get even more personal. Your dog may not choose you because you are the most entertaining person in the house. He may choose you because of the way you make him feel. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to predictable human behavior. Your voice, your smell, your footsteps, the way you touch them, the time you wake up, and even the emotional rhythm of your daily routine become familiar signals. Over time, your dog builds a powerful internal association between you and safety. That is why your dog might walk past someone holding a toy just to curl up beside you. The choice may look simple from the outside, but inside your dog's brain, thousands of experiences have been building one emotional conclusion: this human is my safe place. And then there is one behavior that gives this connection away more clearly than almost anything else: the way your dog looks at you. When your dog sits across the room and simply stares into your eyes, you might assume he wants food, wants to go outside, or wants you to throw a ball. Sometimes he does, but sometimes he's doing something much more intimate. Research published in Science and conducted with scientists at Azabu University in Japan revealed a remarkable oxytocin-based interaction between dogs and humans. Oxytocin is often associated with bonding and social connection, and when dogs and their humans engage in mutual gaze, both can experience changes in this bonding system. Your dog looks at you. You look back. That interaction can reinforce the emotional connection between you, creating a biological feedback loop that makes your relationship stronger over time. Your dog is not just watching you. In a very real biological sense, your relationship can be rewarding for his brain, and this helps explain why your dog may react differently to you than to everyone else. Imagine someone else calling your dog from across the room. Your dog looks at them for a second, then looks back at you. That tiny moment can reveal something important. Your dog is checking his emotional anchor. You are not just another person standing nearby. You are the reference point he uses to understand what is happening around him. If something strange happens, he may look at you. If someone enters the house, he may look at you. If he hears a loud noise, he may run toward you. And when he feels uncertain, the person he seeks out can reveal exactly where his strongest attachment lies. Now take that bond back thousands of years, long before dogs slept on sofas, waited beside refrigerators, or stole your place on the bed. Their ancestors lived around the edges of human settlements. Some wolves were less fearful of humans than others. They discovered that staying close to people could mean access to food and protection. Humans, in turn, began to tolerate the animals that were calmer and more socially responsive. Generation after generation, that relationship changed both species. Eventually, the animal standing beside the ancient campfire was no longer simply a wild predator taking advantage of human leftovers. Something new was emerging. An animal that could read human behavior, seek human attention, and form powerful emotional bonds with human beings. Your dog's obsession with you has an ancient history. Modern genetics gives us another piece of the puzzle. Research comparing dogs and wolves has identified genetic differences associated with sociability and human-directed behavior, including regions involving genes connected to social motivation. Dogs are not simply wolves that happen to live inside houses. Thousands of years of domestication changed the way dogs interact with humans. Their brains and behavior became increasingly adapted to cooperation and social connection. That means when your dog follows you around the house, waits for you at the door, or chooses your lap over an empty couch, you are seeing the result of an evolutionary relationship that has been developing for thousands of years. Your dog was shaped to pay attention to you, but there is an important detail many owners miss. Being your dog's favorite person does not necessarily mean your dog will obey you the most. Those are two different things. A dog can listen to one person because that person consistently trains him, while emotionally preferring someone else because that person represents comfort and security. Your dog might run to the person holding the leash when it is time for a walk, but when thunder shakes the windows, he may crawl directly toward you. That difference tells you something powerful. Your dog can have different relationships with different humans, but the person he seeks when he is vulnerable often reveals his deepest attachment. Watch what happens when you sit down quietly. Do not call your dog. Do not offer food. Do not pick up a toy. Just sit there. If your dog eventually chooses to come over, lie beside you, rest his head against your leg, or simply position himself where he can keep an eye on you, pay attention. That choice is valuable because there is no obvious reward. He is choosing proximity itself, and when a dog voluntarily gives up space just to be near one particular human, that is often one of the clearest signs that the relationship is emotionally meaningful. There is another sign that can be even more revealing. Your dog notices when your mood changes. You are quieter than usual. Your movements are slower. Your voice sounds different, and suddenly, your dog is watching you more closely. He may bring a toy, press his body against your leg, rest his head on your lap, or simply stay nearby. Dogs are highly sensitive to human body language, voice, facial expressions, and routines. They may not understand your problems the way another human does, but they can detect that something about you has changed. And if your dog repeatedly moves toward you when you are emotionally different, he may be responding to the same bond that makes you his safe place. There is also a quieter sign that many people overlook. Your dog may choose to sleep near you even when nobody is asking him to. Sleep is a vulnerable state. A sleeping animal cannot react as quickly to danger, which means choosing a sleeping location involves a level of trust. If your dog consistently chooses your bedroom, your feet, your side of the couch, or a spot where he can see you, that preference can tell you something about where he feels secure. He may have dozens of places available, but he keeps selecting the place where you are. Sometimes love in dogs is not loud at all. Sometimes it is simply a warm body quietly choosing to stay beside yours. Of course, there is one warning you should never ignore. If your dog suddenly stops seeking you out, stops following you, avoids physical contact, or behaves completely differently around you, do not immediately assume that he no longer loves you. Sudden behavior changes can sometimes be connected to pain, illness, fear, stress, or age-related cognitive changes. A dog that used to jump onto the couch beside you but suddenly refuses may be experiencing discomfort. A senior dog that becomes confused, restless, withdrawn, or changes his sleeping patterns may need veterinary attention. Your dog cannot tell you, "Something hurts," so sometimes his behavior becomes the message. When the behavior changes suddenly, listen carefully. And now think back to that moment when you walk through the door. Your dog hears your footsteps. His ears move. His head turns. Then his eyes find you. His tail starts moving. His body gets closer. And suddenly, the person he has been waiting for is standing in front of him. Out of all the sounds in the house, all the smells around him, all the people he knows, he has learned one particular human so deeply that your arrival changes his entire emotional state. So, are you really your dog's favorite person? Look at who he chooses when he is scared. Look at who he follows when nobody calls him. Look at who he seeks when he wants comfort, who he watches when something strange happens, and who he chooses when there is absolutely nothing to gain. Because your dog may not be able to say, "You are my favorite," but his behavior can say it every single day. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the one thing your dog does that makes you think you are his favorite person? And if you think that deep eye contact from your dog is just a cute habit, wait until you discover what may actually be happening inside his brain when he stares directly into your eyes. Because that behavior is even more mind-bending than you think.